Welcome to Best True Crime Podcast, a division of Best True Crime Books, Games, and Video, LLC. I'm your lead investigator on this case, Judith A. Yates, award-winning true crime author, a criminologist, and a paranormal explorer. Every episode is an investigation where you and I explore true crime, forensics, historic cases, dark history, and criminal theory. We discuss the cases, share information, no chatter, no commercials, no off topic. Now, grab your crime scene kit, a notebook, and your favorite hat. This is Best True Crime Podcast. The date is October 21st, 1988. The place is Caballito, Buenos Aires. Your mission is to watch for falling poodles. That's right, falling poodles. And listen to the true story of death by poodle. Now, most of us are animal lovers. For some reason, especially true crime people, we like animals more than people. For example, our dogs. Pet Plan did a study in July 2022, and it revealed that worldwide, pet owners are happier than those who don't own pets. Now, pet ownership increases overall happiness by more than 22% globally. I personally would think it would be higher, but I'm just a writer. Don't give me numbers. More than 250,000 pet owners' selfies were studied online using a pet insurance company that used AI facial recognition tools. The program studied detectable emotions, scaling the emotions, and determining that the average happiness score among pet owners is 59.3%. Now, the highest, happiest pet owners were from, not the United States like we think, but the highest, happiest pet owners were from New Zealand, scoring at 88.4%. And Brazil came in second at 83.8%. But in 1988, there were 3 people who were not much on loving dogs because all 3 people were killed by a falling poodle. And again, yes, this is a true story. Here's what happened. 3 people and a dog were killed in a very strange chain of events. It sounds a little like a very bizarre urban legend, but it is true. Fact check, fact check. It starts with a little poodle and ends in a Buenos Aires hospital morgue. And it all began with a little poodle named Kachi. Kachi was the pet of a family named Montoya. And the Montoyas lived in a 13-floor apartment in Caballito, Buenos Aires, at the corner of Rivadavia and Morales Streets. So now we're at the corner of Rivadavia and Morales Street. The apartment is built like a large rectangle sitting on its end, and each apartment has a balcony that juts out past the building on all 4 sides. Now, the balconies themselves are encircled by these thin metal railings. It wasn't exactly a beautiful building, just another apartment high-rise. Until the morning of October 21st, 1988. Kachi, our lethal poodle in the story, was playing on the balcony of the Montoya family's apartment. Now, it's still kind of a mystery, but somehow poor little Kachi slipped through that railing and fell, twisting and turning in the air for 13 stories. Now, this had to be horrific for his family and horrific for this poor little dog. And it was really bad for a lot of people seconds later. At the same time as Kachi was falling down and down and down through the air, 75-year-old Martha Espina was walking around the corner at Rivadavia and Morales Streets. And it was just another day for Martha. She's carrying her shopping bag and she's just passing an Armenian carpet house with a stained glass window. It's a beautiful window. Now, a witness would later say Martha was speaking with another woman. So Martha's standing on the sidewalk and she's speaking to this other woman. She took a few steps, maybe to admire the stained glass window, and the woman steps back to let Martha see the window. So the woman and Martha basically exchange places standing on the walkway. 1 second, Martha is admiring this beautiful stained glass window, and then the next, Kachi landed on Martha's head, square on the top, and it killed both the woman and the dog instantly. Poor Martha never saw it coming. Martha falls dead on the sidewalk. A crowd is suddenly gathered across the street. Their faces are upward, then down, looking up, looking down. What happened? What happened? I'm not even going to say raining cats and dogs. Okay, that's not even worth it. But everybody's like, what hit the lady? It looks like a dog. No, it's not a dog. No way. Where did it come from? Did it fall from the apartment? So, everybody's asking, is she dead? What happened? Of course, as crowds will do, more people show up and they're going, what happened? What happened? Oh my God, that lady's just laying in the street. Somebody help her. What happened here? And of course, people start talking, yelling, screaming. Okay, well, a 46-year-old woman named Edith Sola was just enjoying the day, and she was also doing her marketing. Edith is strolling along Rivadavia Street, directly across from the Armenian Carpet House. And Edith just so happened to look over just at the right moment to witness Kachi landing square atop Martha's skull, hitting Martha and killing her. Now, Edith doesn't know Martha's dead. All she sees is something hits this lady in the head and the lady falls over. Well, Edith just panics. And without watching for the traffic back and forth, Edith steps out of the gathering crowd screaming and starts to race across the street, hoping to help Martha. All of a sudden, there's these tires screeching and vehicles swerving and everybody screaming, look out, look out, look out. But a bus driver couldn't turn in time and could not avoid hitting Edith. Edith Sola was killed instantly. She was laying dead in the street when the bus driver bounded out of the bus to see if he could help. Now, we've got Martha laying there dead from a poodle. We've got Kachi, the poodle, dead from falling and landing on Martha. And now we've got poor Edith lying dead in front of the bus. So more souls are gathering on the corner of Rivadavia and Morales Streets. And of course, they're all shouting at one another, asking why there are two dead women laying in the street, along with looks like a dead poodle. And then, wait for it, there is another person that's gathering in the crowd, and they listed him, all in the papers, as an unnamed man. So this man had just stepped out of a pharmacy on that same corner. Now, just as he looks up and around, he has the misfortune of first witnessing Kachi hit Martha in the head and knocking her to the ground. And then as he's standing there with the crowd, he's watching in horror as the bus hits Edith and just catapults her into the road. So here's two dead women lying here right in front of him, these horrible accidents right in front of him. And it was obviously way too much for him. Now, he must have had a bad ticker. Maybe that's why he was at the pharmacy, because all of this excitement and all of this horrific things, watching two dead people within seconds of each other, he falls to his knees. And now the crowd's falling back because the man's clutching his chest. He's trying to breathe. His face is all pasty and his eyes are just wide with terror. He's having a heart attack. Someone called the ambulance, but by the time the ambulance arrived, he was suffering a full-scale heart attack. They tried to save him, but the man died before he arrived at the closest hospital. So, not only did Kachi take out Martha when he fell on her head, he also took out Edith, who ran across the street to try to help Martha and gets hit by a bus. And then a man sees all of this happening, and it causes him to have a heart attack. The story made headlines in Argentina's capital city, and it made the news in these numerous newspapers across the states, all the way to the Daily Oklahoman and the San Francisco Examiner. Nobody knows what happened with Kachi's body. And that is the true story of how a little poodle named Kachi killed 3 people on October 21st, 1988, by falling out of a building in Caballito, Buenos Aires, Brazil. Thank you so much for joining me, and I would appreciate it if you subscribed and left me a good review. It's a brand new podcast, so join us next time. We talk about all kinds of things here. Be safe out there. Every year, approximately 920,000 shelter animals are euthanized. That's 390,000 dogs and over 500,000 cats. How can you help save these lovable animals? By spaying and neutering your pets. That's just the right thing to do. And donating to your favorite animal shelter or rescue. And please adopt, don't shop. So many different types of animals are out there sitting alone, just waiting for someone to love them. You can find out more at www.petfinder.com or contact your local animal rescue. Thank you for joining me on this investigation, exploring true crime, forensics, historic cases, dark history, and criminal theory. This is Best True Crime Podcast. No chatter, no commercials, no off topic. I do hope you will subscribe. This podcast runs off donations only. You can drop us a donation, $35 or more, and I'll send you a signed book. Just go to www.besttruecrime.com. My name is Judith A. Yates, award-winning true crime author, a criminologist, and a paranormal explorer. Thank you for joining me on Best True Crime Podcast, a division of Best True Crime Books, Games, and Video, LLC. Be safe out there.